guys, it's Shay with Shay's Urban Edibles. Today I wanted to get some jambalaya okra into the ground. So I started these jambalaya okra a while back. I want to go ahead and get them into the ground so I can get some production from them before the season ends. I did see where the Farmer's Almanac is expecting a longer than usual or a warmer than usual fall. And so we may end up having a little more time to grow here in Texas. I'm not sure about any other states, but it's usually a little warm here in Texas all the way up until around maybe towards the end of October, right before Halloween. We'll get our first frost. Well, not frost, but our first cool front to cool it down to where it's at least in the 80s. So sometimes we can grow well into November, maybe even December. I know I had tomatoes in the ground last year all the way up until November, and I finally got frustrated. I pulled those tomatoes up because one, there wasn't 12 hours of sunshine, and so there wasn't 12 hours of sunshine, and so the fruit were not as large as I wanted them to be. I got one more okra in here somewhere, so I went ahead and pulled those up. I need to drain that water from these holders. Rained pretty good today. Water loss. In fact, it's about to rain again, so I'm going to go ahead and take them all out of the trays. That way the water's going to let them get through. Ouch. Pour the rainwater out because it's so good to water your plants with. So I'm just going to move this stuff around so I can keep the rainwater. Maybe drop a couple of pieces of lemongrass in here because I've heard that lemongrass keeps the mosquitoes out of your water. Girl, you can't see anything that I'm doing, can you? Like I was saying, I know I had one more okra in here, or I already took it out. So these are the 3 okra that I want to get into the ground today. They're jambalaya. They don't have to get really big to produce. This is the area I'll be planting them in. Got a hole back there I can put them in. Definitely want to put it back that way because I don't want the watermelon to take it over. Because I do have some watermelon right here growing. So I'm going to probably put them both right there. Let me get my razor. Alright. Got my razor cut. Got my little hand trowel or my hand shovel. I'm gonna cut a couple of small circles right here, or small squares rather. Got a hole there, so I'll plant one right here. Let me make this hole a little bit bigger. So let me make it snappy. See how clay this soil is? It's all clumped together. And the first time I planted okra over here in this area, what I did was I amended the soil a little bit, and so I had some garden soil mixed in with the clay soil, and this is some of that okra right there. It did really good with that planting method. Now I don't have garden soil today, and I'm not going to the store to get it, and so I'm just going to plant this here with the soil that's the native soil, which seems to be pretty clay. So we'll see how this goes. Oh, got wet. Add some of this in there. I'm not gonna disturb the roots too much. Okra does not like its roots disturbed. And so what I'm gonna do is just flip it over, drop it in the hole. Come back, fill the hole with the native soil, and hope for the best. Good job, JoJo. So that one's done. And because my dog is nosy and she likes to come over here snooping around, I'm going to cover it with a little white basket to make sure. Good job, JoJo, to make sure it doesn't get stepped on by her or myself as well. There are the other two holes that I plan on planting in. This is smaller one can go here. Good job, JoJo. Now you guys know in this little hole right here where I got this okra sitting, that's where I had my callaloo. That callaloo got so big and it had so many bugs eating it, I just gave up on it. I pulled it up. Good job, JoJo. So maybe next year I'll be a little more prepared with my pest prevention. This was my first year trying to grow callaloo, and so I wasn't really sure what to expect. One, I didn't know that they get as large as they do. Two, I didn't know that they had so much pest pressure. So next year, like I said, hopefully I'll be better prepared with my pest prevention, and I can go ahead and get that started as soon as I put it into the ground, because it was ridiculous. It was a beautiful plant, don't get me wrong, big and beautiful. It was very productive, but you have to stay on top of your pest prevention. If you don't, the bugs are going to eat it, and you won't get to try any of it. You'll be growing it in vain. That was planted. Move back here to the last one. You see, I only got a couple planted back here on this back row. There's one here, and then there's another one there. So I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all together. Now hopefully, okay, this soil is not as bad. It's pretty mushy though. Ugh. So hopefully I'll be able to get me some pickled okra out of this bunch. Yeah, this is where that callaloo was. And apparently this soil was pretty good for that callaloo. Because like I said, that thing was so big, the bottom of it looked like a small tree. Soil back in there. Let's see what happens. Just a little bit from here. Alright, we got all 3 of those planted. Let me get my baskets to cover them. And wash my hands. Alright, I got my handy dandy Dollar Tree baskets. Oops. I'm going to cover each one of these with it. That'll keep it safe till it's big enough to stand on its own. Alright, so that's done. I'm not going to water them in because it is raining here. What I might do is use these garden staples to keep them in place though. There's the callaloo right there. It's all cut up and in the box. I did have a lot of dead leaves on this Rampicante squash. I pruned all of those on yesterday, and I did notice that I do have a couple more squash that are coming on. They're all the way up at the top. Let's see if we can get a picture of them. See, I got 2 new squash coming on. Well, maybe 1 new squash. One of them looks like it didn't get fertilized. It's kind of yellow. So I know that I will get at least 1 more squash from this Rampicante squash. I did see some butternuts on here. Some female flowers. did go ahead and trim back the eggplant a little bit more, but you see it's still blooming like crazy. Look at all those flowers on it. My loofah here, this is my second year growing loofah. I always plant it in the same place right next to my chicken coop, and then I just allow it to grow and spread. And last year it didn't give me any loofah, and this year it doesn't look like I'm going to be getting any loofah either, because it's been growing for well over 90 days, and I think I've seen somewhere where they are supposed to start blooming within 90 days. Unless it's a late bloomer, we'll see. I'm not going to tear it down until it starts dying back though, or until I start getting tired of it. The dragon fruit that I up potted has got a ton of babies coming on. Look at that, there's 3 of them there. See that new growth? Actually, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 of the bigger ones in the middle, and then one smaller one on each end. But it's still growing, it's doing good. I got a couple of artichoke here that I started last year. I decided to put them, they tolerate partial shade, and close to the house gets partial shade, and so I decided to go ahead and put them here. Once I have one, there's 3 of them in this bed. I don't know if the 3rd one is going to make it because it's covered by this coleus. It's barely making it now. But once I pull this, I did store some more artichoke seeds inside the house in my seed room, and so once I pull this up or it starts dying back, I'm gonna put another artichoke there, and maybe some more artichokes in this bed over here where this basil is. Probably put a couple more there. But those are my plans for these beds that are right here under the edging of my house. Roselle. I have the roselle here. It's not doing much of anything. I don't see many blooms on it. It is growing like crazy though. I did plant it out a little later than the other one that I had, and that one's already gone. It was back there in that corner where I planted that okra. We got so much rain, and you know, the roselle doesn't like wet feet. Likes well-drained soil. And so because it rained so much, it eventually it died. It killed it. It was too much water for it. This is where I have my Tahitian melon, my Seminole pumpkins. I got a melon over there. I don't know how well they're gonna do, but they are there. I got some eggplant here in this bed, and I got some celery from last year that I was trying to allow it to go to seed. It hasn't gone to seed yet. I got some basil over here that's gone to flower, which I will probably collect the seeds from. But my intentions for this bed is to use it as I want to use it as a bed to whatever I want to go to seed, and in order for me to collect seeds, I'm going to plant at least one of them back here so that I can collect seeds. Allow the vegetables to go to seed and collect the seeds, so that I don't have to keep buying seeds. So this is normally my cucumber bed. I got a couple of I got a cucumber in there, I got some beans in there, and then I also have some eggplant in there. It's got the Chinese long noodle beans in there. That's my pepper bed. The peppers are still producing. May need a shade cloth. Got some basil in there, got some marigold going in there. Oh, is that a big bumblebee?